What is happening, Elevation Nation? Sam and I are so excited for this conversation today. We have a very special guest, Joe DiMeo, joining us on Elevation Nation. Joe, I just got to say, we are very excited for this conversation. I know we met just a couple days ago, and I left that conversation like, we could talk for hours. And so I was like, all
Yeah.
right, great. We'll start with the podcast. What's going on, Joe?
Hi, it's doing good. It's great to be on the podcast.
Joe, we're hyped. Parker, like you said, I mean, he literally called me right after he chatted with you and was like, dude, Joe's the man. You guys are going to vibe. So I'm very excited for this podcast. I'm excited to share more of your story. And the coolest part about a podcast is we just get to shoot the shit and hang out. A couple dudes, talk about life, talk about what's going on. And I'm just excited to do that with you. But Joe, before we get in, to your story, we like to start every episode with a little elevator pitch, a little bio sharing with the listeners who you are. So, Joe, who are you, man?
I'm Joe from Jersey. I'm 27 years old. I was in a car accident. I'm the first successful face of double hand transplant in the world.
Wow. First double face and what? So you said face and double hand transplant in the world.
Yeah, double. So I always say successful because there's two before me. The first one passed away on the table, and then the second one, the hands failed. And so the second one was actually pretty known. Like I was in middle school when it happened. That's why I only know about it. Uh, it was a lady that got attacked by a chimpanzee in Boston. She had her face and double hand transplant, and but the hands failed afterwards.
Mm, wow. So successful. And we're here now having a great
Right.
conversation. Joe, we like to go deep with our guests, and we usually start off by going backwards pretty far into uh, the guest's journey in life. And so I got a question for you. When you were growing up, what did you anticipate your dream life to be?
Definitely not this, but uh, I didn't really have like a dream job at all. But like my dad gave me like two options. He's like, either you go to college and you stay home, or you get a job and you move out at 18. So like I pursued the 18 life, the getting a job. But like I actually like I always wanted to do either uh long distance semi truck driving. I thought it'd be pretty cool to just drive across the country and
Yeah,
visit each state, see what like different foods they have. Because like I'm a food guy, I like to travel to places with good food.
me too. Me too.
But then like I saw this guy on Instagram that had like this like modified CTSV, which was like one of my cars back in the day. Like I really liked, and he worked on the auto rigging. So like, man, I want to do that, and it's very physical, and that's the thing I liked. I like to be physical. And that's how my dad taught. He raised me, to be physical with my hands and build stuff and everything. So like, I want to do oil rigging because like he can afford that kind of car. I wonder what I could do because like I was single, so I could do a lot more overtime and everything. And that's actually put me in a car accident doing a lot of overtime. But I never pursued that dream yet. I can't
Yeah.
anymore.
It's always interesting how our childhood dreams are so inspired by the people around us. But now I think this like next generation, I mean our generation, grows up with seeing so many different paths on social media. And what we want to do is kind of built now from different perspectives, which I think is interesting. And yeah, I think it changes, right? I mean, I can tell you firsthand, I didn't know I wanted to do a podcast. Parker had to beg me to do the
Like,
podcast, and here we are now having amazing conversations with so many different people. But Joe, let's talk a little bit about, obviously your dreams changed a little bit here. Talk to us through kind of some of those first initial moments with the accident, of course, if you're comfortable, and then how that's kind of grown you into your new mission and your new purpose here today.
oh, yeah, so like I was golfing with my dad that day. I went to the gym before I saw my mom because that was our thing, and then I went golfing with my dad to practice. For him, not me. I'm not a golfing guy, so I just did it to hang out with him and so he can practice his game. job called me saying, "Hey, you wanna do some overtime?" I was like, "Yeah, no problem." Get my typical 5 hours sleep, 5 to 4 hours, which I thought was normal when I was, 20 years old. So I did my shift, and then driving home, which was only 10 minutes, to my apartment, and I just fell asleep at the wheel, and my car crashed, and, woke up from a coma 3.5 months later with 80% burns, eyelids, and amputated fingers.
Joe, do you remember what like was going through your head when you woke up?
Yeah, so when I woke up from the coma, my mom was there, and the first thing I asked her was, "How are the rims on my car?" And "Where's my Fendi belt?" Yeah.
But
Yeah, so
did
I
you
was yeah,
go ahead?
yeah, I was, more working on my car because I worked hard for that. That was, like, the, like, big purchase I had. Like, the rims, like obviously, the car's a big purchase, but, like, the rims I bought out, like, flat, like, I owned them. So I was like, "Man, like, that's a waste of 5 grand right there." Meanwhile, I had, like, hundreds of thousands of dollars of medical bills coming my way.
Did you know what had just happened? Did you know that you were in an accident? You woke up. I remember you talking to me a bit about there was a lot of people around you when you woke up.
Oh, yeah, I woke up, the nurses are, like, already did their nursing job and the vitals and asking how everything's going. And it was like a haze from a lot of medications, but, like, I knew something happened, so, like, I'm in the hospital, uh, and I knew it involved my car, because, like, when you're in a coma, you have a lot of coma dreams, and so if something happened, I know something happened, but I know, like, the details to it, and my mom didn't tell me the details, she just told me, "You're in a car accident, and, like, everything's gone," basically. She didn't tell me I was 80% burned or you don't have fingertips or, nothing like that.
It's yeah, I can imagine. It's an interesting wake up to try to figure out what has happened. I want to give you, Joe, kudos really quick, and of course we're gonna get into it more. But I love that like your sense of humor is coming out. You're like, where are my rims? Like, what a waste of 5 grand. Like,
Yeah.
and I think it's we're gonna talk a lot deeper about your mindset because I think it's incredible. But I know humor is one thing that's very good for the human soul and spirit, and so I love that you were able to kind of joke about that, man.
Yeah, like, definitely being, like, even though, like, in a rut, basically, like, couldn't move because all the bandages, it felt like, like, falling in mud and you just get all sticky and you just don't wanna move because it feels weird. Kinda like that kinda feeling. Or you get wet at a water park and you just don't wanna move, so it's like, I don't wanna move or nothing. And you
Yeah,
got to find humor in it because you're just gonna be sad and stay in the rut in the bed because you're stuck in the bed all the time. So you gotta
sure.
find some humor in things.
Absolutely. And Joe, I guess I'm curious, right? Obviously it has been and was in that initial moments a long road. I'm sure they probably laid out for you, hey, your medical team, here's our plan. That had to have been very overwhelming to hear all the different things that you still needed to do and try to do. And I know you said find the humor. That's of course one way, but what was your mind like when you were hearing all these things of like, all right, we got a ton of steps and the path ahead is difficult.
Yeah, it was a huge cup fun. Like when the doctors, wake you up at 5 o'clock in the morning to do their rounds. And like on top of all that, I'm on like a lot of pain medication. So like I'm in the haze. So that I think that's why I was joking around a lot because I'm on pain medication. So like the doc had told me like, yeah, your fingers are amputated off, your eyelids are burnt off, so he sutured it in a certain way to keep your eyes moist. So it was like looking at a chain link fence when I was burned. And like in the long run, I would have went blind. And so he told me all that 5 o'clock in the morning. And he's like, do you have any questions? I'm like, not really, no. Like, what am I ask you? Like, I don't really have nothing to ask. He's can I go back to bed? Like that's like kind of your mindset. Like, it's time to go back to bed. Like, it's 5 o'clock in the morning. You're all stiff. You got to, get ready to go to the tank rooms where they wash you. That's like painful. But like, Yeah, like I actually went back to bed. I didn't really think much of it when I woke up again. One of the nurses woke me up to go in a tank room, and that's when I was like, "Oh, this sucks." I didn't really look at my fingertips either because I couldn't do a sit up. You know, that was pretty low because I couldn't even do a sit up, let alone walk. I didn't have, I couldn't look at my fingers or nothing. So like my mindset was just like getting more medications for this tank room because I don't know how to feel. The bandages getting peeled off my skin. Like 80% of your body is all bandages getting peeled off. That hurts.
So I hope you're waking up at 5 a.m. every day. Is it every day? Was it every other day? Was it once a week?
Every day, sometimes earlier at 5, sometimes 4, 4:30.
Wow.
Those surgeons are around the clock, you know?
Yeah, totally.
And like, sometimes you get a little snappy at them and it's like, and then when they
You
come
just
in
woke me
later on, it's
up.
like, sorry about that, but you woke me up at 4:30 in the morning and, oh, I'm paying, no, I'm not on medications. Yeah. So, and sometimes they don't take it to heart, hopefully they don't take it to heart.
Yeah, you have a great dream. You're thinking about things, and then boom, wake up. So,
Yeah.
Joe, you're in the hospital. This is 3.5 months after the accident. Walk us through like the journey to get out of the hospital and how you approached every day.
And it's like waking up, uh, on 6'1", and waking up, I was 170, but I went into the accident, I was like 200, 205, with like a lot of muscle to that 205. And it's like all that was gone down to 170. That was like my middle school weight. You know, they had to have 5 to 6 nurses and PTs to just help me sit up to the edge of the bed. And like when sitting to the edge of the bed was like running like a marathon in a way. It just knocks you out. Like, all right, let's go to the chair. It's like, wait, I can't. Like, I physically cannot, like, flex my calf or thigh muscles or nothing. So they had to physically like pick me up, and I had to like pretend to move my legs in a way. I just sit in a chair to get out of the blood moving. The PT had a lot of work to do on me, so it took me like half a month to just start walking again. And in that half a month, I was at OT, and that's when I saw my fingers. I was like, well, what's the point of doing occupational therapy if I only have fingertips? And she was like, Joe, I think that was my negative moment. It's like, why would I even try working out my fingertips if I don't, it looked like baby carrots on my hands. So I was like, like, why didn't try? She's like, Joe, don't do that. Put your Coban on and, just pretend to pick up cups. And I guess just keep me active, my arms active and distract me because a lot of the nurses, the PTs, OTs always were talking to me, asking how my day was and like asking how's your dogs, things like that. And then I asked them like, all right, like, what are your life stories now? Because you're seeing me in this vulnerable state. I gotta know something about you now. So like I learned a lot from
Wow.
like older nurses, like life experiences and like not to do, what to do with like everything. It was a good experience from a learning perspective, but not physical.
Yeah. I'm so glad you brought up the people around you because that was going to be my next question is you're obviously in the hospital for a long time. I'm sure there are many familiar faces and people that you got to build relationships with. And I'm sure Parker shared this with you yesterday, but one of the main reasons we started the podcast, Joe, was Parker and I love talking to cool people. You can learn so much from other people's perspectives and how they live, their mindset, how they were raised, what they think, what they want to do. And I think so often, so many young people are just around people exactly like them. Their friends, their family, like the same exact life experiences, the same neighborhoods. And having a podcast allows you to have diverse perspectives. And I imagine having all these nurses and doctors around, it's the same thing. Talk to me about some of those relationships. You said you made them get vulnerable with you, which I love, man. That's what we do on the podcast. We make everybody get vulnerable with us. Like, what were some of those stories and life lessons that really stuck with you?
Uh, I think just like being like like a lot of nurses talk about bad patients and one guy was like, I want a cigarette, hot dog, and a Corona. And like, he got to a point where he got physical with the nurses, and like doctors like, you know what, just give it to him at this point. So like, they had to get like special clearance for a cigarette and a Corona, like in the hospital, like in the burn unit. Just so like that is a learning for like being, even though like you're in a bad situation, try to be nice in a way. Yeah, so that was a big one. And I till to this day, I'm like, one of the patients that nurse is like, I want to have chill because all I want is my pills and like food. It's like, and they had the rest of the day off basically, so like, well, they come in just to talk to me, just anything like randomly, like like sports, anything, uh, family. And like, it turns out a lot of nurses are into like EDM. So it's like, that was pretty cool. And
Really?
cause like, yeah, cause like my dad, bought me an iPad to like, cause they told you like, you can hear people in your coma. So they're like, buy my iPad. So my parents like, okay, let's get an iPad. So they would play EDM all the time for me, and then the nurses came in to listen and talk to me.
That's awesome. I love that. I mean, it sounds like the nurses wanted to hang out with you. You wanted to hang out with them because you guys were having a good time. Obviously, you're having harder conversations at times, but at times, hey, we're talking EDM, we're talking Avicii, we're talking,
That
chain
face
smokers,
is
whatever it might be. So eventually, as you told me yesterday, you obviously got out of the hospital, right? And you had to learn how to walk again, right? And then eventually you were like, I want to still live life as well. Talk us through that.
I guess like I went backwards in the rehab because my cuts opened up. That took another month to walk again. Then I moved back into my parents' house, and then I turned 21 when I moved back in. And like at that point, I was on the couch, not doing much. I'm like, what's the point? Like, can't really do much. Can't go back to work, and just laying on the couch basically, like a couch potato. And like my dog Buster, he got me out of that rut because I had to like help him out. So he was a good motivation. What was the question again?
Yeah, so your dog Buster gets you out of the rut. You're finding that you don't want to just sit on the couch. You want to,
Like
start
live at
living,
21.
yeah, living life again as a 21-year-old.
Yes. So I live in Jersey, and I got my driver's license. They put a vertical when you're 21, so like you can go into clubs and stuff. So I did that. And I wish I had meta glasses like I have now to just show the reactions to people like, oh, why? How is he gonna get a license? And people, I got my license. I decided I lost it though. I wish I still had it. So yeah, like, well, like I don't want to stand on the couch, so I got my license, and I went to bars and clubs. My friends like took me there, and that's when I learned like empathy, and like people in the bars are like, like, yeah, like I'm 8% burned, and like I'm still at the bar chilling. They'll come up to me asking questions like, "Oh, how did this happen?" I didn't take it as an offense because who sees a burnt person in real life? Like, the first person I saw burnt was Freddy Krueger, and then I had two guys from Seton Hall come to my school and do a presentation about being burned. So that was like my intro to burn. So I understand people were curious, especially me because I wore shorts and short sleeves. I didn't really care. I really had nothing to hide at that point. It's like it is what it is. And that's how I learned like people like really don't care how you are, is how you act. And like I was like talking to people and having a good time being burned, and I had fun.
I mean, Joe, I want to give you credit and kudos, man, to you're just you're being Joe and you're talking with people and you're living life and you're sharing your stories, and I think you're seeing a lot of the good and the curiosity that people probably have towards you, and it's allowed you to grow a ton of incredible relationships and connections with people. And so I give you a ton of credit there, man. Talk to us a little bit more. I think you obviously now are going out and living life. We started the beginning of the episode about, what did Joe want to do growing up as a kid? Now we have some new circumstances, we have some new realities. You've kind of pivoted, and you know, whether you like it or not, you're inspiring a lot of people. How has your mission kind of changed, and what is up next for Joe?
What's up next for me is, I mean, well, first of all, because I do travel a lot. Like, I just got back from Italy a couple of weeks ago. I never thought I'd go there because it's all because of my wife. She's a traveler, and like, even though I said I wanted to be a cross country semi truck driver, you get paid doing that and visiting states. You know, traveling is you're spending a lot of money. So I never thought I'd be traveling. I'm a homebody at heart, but so she opened up traveling to me. And what's next is just I'm trying to do public speaking. I just did one for Gift of Life in Michigan for organ donation. So I thought that was pretty cool because they're never the people that get the organs aren't really recognized, and they're the ones actually doing the groundswork and the dirty work, getting the organs and like saving people's lives in a way. So doing like public speaking is really cool. It's nice. Did my high school and that was really cool. It's like I told the kids, like, you just gotta live your life, no matter like with the pimples on your face or the clothes you wear. Just because you can't afford the clothes doesn't mean you're different. Like, I grew up with Echo, and everyone else had Hollister and Alpha Style or whatever. I'm calling it Finch. I couldn't even go in those stores. Like my parents couldn't afford that at that time. So I had to wear Echo and like Gap and stuff like things like that, like the knockoff brands. Uh, so like I grew up, getting teased with wearing Echo and like so like that like and it makes you tell kids like, hey, like, I got teased too. So like you're gonna get teased no matter what. You just have to live it, go through it.
You're just finding ways to make an impact in the world. And I think it sounds like when you were younger, you were looking for ways to make an impact, whether it was be working overtime at a job or, getting a cool car that you can drive on the road and show off to people like, hey, this is Joe's car. To the point now you're going around, you're traveling to places like Italy as well as getting in front of people and talking about not only your experience and your journey, but you're motivating the future and telling them. And I think that is so freaking cool. That's something that resonates so much with us and what we do at Elevation Nation, speaking to the younger generation to help them understand that they can have a path to do what they want and what in the skin that they want. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like a couple months ago, I did one with my friend Bill. We went to his university and did a speaking at together and talking to a bunch of like nurse practitioners and like physician assistants. So it's like that was pretty cool. I never did that was pretty cool. Like those people are like way smarter than me and they're being inspired by me. It's like, well, that's pretty cool. And like there's like older people like in the 70s, 80s telling me I inspired them. I'm like, what? Like you've been through it way more than I have, and I inspired you. Like, tell me some advice or something.
So, Joe, you mentioned your wife, and
Oh, yeah.
you went on this great trip. Talk to us a little bit more about how you met your wife, what she means to you, and the life that you've built together.
Yeah, so I DM'd on Instagram about her dog. We had the same breed of dog, Boston Terriers. Hers is black and white, mine's brown and white, and just a year apart too, which is weird. Kirkland, her dog is 10, mine is Buster is 9. So I just DM'd her saying I like your dog, and we just started talking, and that led to a phone number, and then she met up with me at my parents' house. And then from there, she got a travel assignment in New York City, and then we got an apartment together, and then now we have a house together, got married, and hopefully kids in the future. And we got a dog, a puppy, a blue nose pit bull. He's 10 months old. So it's like testing the waters with that puppy with for a kid, and
Yeah.
so far so good.
There you go. That's incredible, man. And obviously, Parker wanted to bring up Jessica because she's just a huge part of your life now and part of your story. And I think, as Parker and I have realized, the people around us really make us who we are and help build us up. And Parker's wife's name is Jessica, so he wanted to just, have that in common with you guys, making me feel left out. But I think that's beautiful, man. And, to have that support system of Jessica and your family is so important. I want to bring us into something exciting that's coming up for you. You're getting a pretty darn impressive and big award at the My Face Gala coming up, this Courage Award. Talk to us about that award. Talk to us about My Face and your involvement. And obviously, we're really excited and proud of you, man.
Yeah, so last year I got invited to the gala, and I thought it was a great event and a really cool community. And then after that, I went to a 5K walk for dogs with cleft lips, and I never knew dogs can have cleft lips. I didn't know it existed, like a cleft lip to begin with. So like my face also is educating me on facial differences, and that's where I met Bill at the dog walk. And after that, we just started hanging out. I kept going to more events, and it's just a really good community, a really strong community. And then he took me to the ACPA Awards, and that was like a really good learning experience, and it was a great opportunity to share my story more. And then I got awarded the Courage Award at the gala coming up on June 4th. And that was like really nice of him to do that. I didn't expect that either. I was just doing this because, I kind of my heart, just to do it to the great community to spread around. And I'm also not like a charity guy because as soon as I hear charity, I think of all the scams going on, like taking money. I also don't have money to give out. So I was like, no, I'm looking at charities and like, so like, no, like I also like, also meeting Bill and like trusting him. I was like, okay, this guy is trustworthy and I like him. Now he's like one of my best. I probably text him more than I do my wife at this point. I mean, more I text each other and stuff. Like he's in Tennessee right now. He wants to buy me a cowboy hat. I was like, no, like, I have a cowboy hat. And it's like super nice of him. Like he doesn't have to do that or anything. Because like I also want to go to Canal Street for get headphones. He's like, no, dude, don't get. Like, so he got me a pair just so I to go to Canal Street, to stay out of the sun. So it's like this guy is like super giving and nice, and
He's an incredible.
that's why I'm with my face too, because they're not scanning enough. And there's like a good strong community, and that's why I like spreading it around.
I love it. And for context for Elevation Nation, Joe is talking about Bill Villafranco, who also is an elevator, shared his story on the podcast, and I can vouch for Joe, is a damn good guy, an incredible human being. And now that I know he's buying cowboy hats, I mean, I might have to put in a request.
Well, my question for you, Joe, is one, is the cowboy hat getting worn at the gala? And secondly, what are we talking about? Are you gonna give a speech? Are you ready to go?
I'm not. I denied that cowboy hat. I already have one, but I just have a big head too, so it's just awkward. I don't want a 10-gallon hat in Jersey.
Fair.
Yeah, I'll be giving a speech at the gala, which would be really cool. I take the pictures. Does anyone want like anything want them? But like, yeah, I'll be giving a speech, which should be really nice. Hopefully, people will take something from my story and have a good time with it.
I know that they certainly can and they will, and we are excited for you. And again, really proud of you for winning this award and continuing to inspire people, Joe. I want to move us into our next segment here. You mentioned something before we started the podcast that we got to know a little bit about. I don't know if you're allowed to talk about this yet or not, but you mentioned that TLC was coming to your apartment doing some redecorating, but also interviewing and chatting with you. Talk to us about the experience of becoming a TV star, man. I'm jealous.
Yeah, it's like I wasn't like I was like they reached out to me. I was like, no, I don't want to be a reality TV person. It's like a lot of work and they get bad raps, whatever. So a couple months later, they reached out again, And Jess was like, just do it. Just see what happens. You can always say no to it once if you don't like it, you don't like it. You just say no, like, guys, gotta stop. But like, so I did it. It was a nice process to it. Interesting setup how they do things and how they prop things up. But great camera crew. And now, like I said, I was on TLC.
And you got some pillows out of it too. Let's not forget the redecorating.
Oh yeah, so
Pillows that were
I took some pillows.
taken
I
from
took
you.
some pillows and candles from the set. They allowed to put in my house. Like they actually moved my couch, different positions. They wanted to take down a couple of picture frames, but I was like, no, you can't take that down because it's like stuck to the wall because they didn't want to move it around. Like, yeah, it was interesting, but good learning experience because like, wow, like now I watch TV shows, it's like 6 hours just to set up,
Mm.
and then just a 5 minute thing on TV.
Wow. Well, when does it come out? When can we watch it? That's very key.
Yeah, it comes out June 3rd, and it's on HBO Max.
Amazing. We will be looking and waiting very patiently, and it'll be here before we know it. Curious,
I know,
Joe.
May's almost over already.
I know, right? Just like that. It feels like it's just jumped to summer, right? Getting into June. Sam was mentioning we're going to our next section. We got some rapid fire questions for you. Some fun questions, maybe a little deeper. First thing that comes to mind, we want to hear and get inside the mind of Joe. All right?
Okay, yeah.
First one. Who is your all-time favorite New Orleans Saints football player and why?
Taysom Hill. I actually have his jersey up there hanging up. Taysom Hill, just because he can do everything. No one could do what he does. No one puts their head down no more. No one jumps over people. He does everything. That's what I like about him. You tell him what to do, and he'll be a tight end, running back, quarterback. I thought that's like, wow, like, that's impressive. He's super underrated. I was talking
Versatile.
about one guy that's really good at position, which is good. But Taysom Hill he's quick. He outruns a lot of guys, and he just runs over people.
I was always
versatile.
annoyed when I was playing on fantasy football against Taysom Hill because I never drafted him. But
Yeah,
like
because
when
like,
someone
if you're on
would
the
play
5 yard
him,
line, put Taysom Hill in, he's getting in the touch. He's getting the end zone.
yeah, like he's
And
got
then
passing
him and
yards,
his wife. Yeah.
he's got passing touchdowns, he's got rushing yards, he's got receiving yards. I'm like, where do all these points come from? He doesn't even play. He start.
And then I think 2 years ago, he invited me and my wife down to a game and gave me a bunch of like merch, a signed practice jersey, which I wore like 2 times in the house. And I was like, no, I don't want to ruin them. I don't want to. And I get surprised because we're both 6'1", but he's like 10 times bigger than me because of the muscles. And it's like, oh, it's perfect. This fits on me. I was very happy it fits.
Football players, man, it's crazy. They got
I know,
a
they're
lot of body
huge in
mass there.
person.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
wild. All right, Joe, our next rapid fire here. If you had the ability to send a text message to everyone in the world, what would that text message say?
Oh, that's an interesting one. Probably something about food, like giving you a recipe of either the best thing you're good at cooking or your parents or siblings, whoever's the best cook in the family, give me your recipe. Which that'll be a lot of recipes to read, but
Your
I love
foodie
it.
your foodie is showing, man. I love it. We could talk food
I was
for
just
days.
curious on different foods. Like why mix it like that? First time going to LA, Jessica brings me ice cream with hot sauce powder on it. I'm like, that you can have that one. That's a big Mexican thing. With hot powders on it. They have it on Disneyland too, which I was like, well,
Yeah, like tahini
that's
or something. Yeah.
yeah, it's tahini. It's not for me, but hey, she likes it. She likes it. She's not eating
I
my ice cream.
I actually had a taste test at an ice cream restaurant, ice cream spot in New York City the other day. It had like chili in the chocolate. And the guy, when he was giving it to me, he's like, it's chocolate with a hint of a spice. So I'm like, huh? and like you taste it, I'm like, I could see
Yeah,
how
like
people
my
like
mom,
it. Not for me. Not for me.
no, like my mom gets a mango ice pasta with tahini at Whole Foods.
Oh, that sounds good. I like that. When I'm walking in the park and I get mango, they always have the tahini ready to go. So maybe
Oh yeah.
there's something there. That's definitely a fan favorite. Okay, Joe, I got another one for you. It's a little bit deeper. If you could give advice to your younger self, maybe yourself when you're 15, what would that advice be?
Get Bitcoin, Apple stock, or Tesla. Uh, get get those kind of stocks, and then put some money on the Chiefs on the Super Bowl. I
Smart.
wish it would be like back in 2005, so I could put money on the Giants against the Patriots because they're huge underdogs.
Hey,
Something like
fair
that.
enough.
Hey, put like 100 grand on Giants or something.
Good answer, man.
Hey, Joe,
That's
I got to say, we ask deep questions like that to, we've interviewed 250 plus people, and everyone's like, oh, I got to come up with this very profound way to give advice to my younger self. I respect the hell out of that answer because you know what? Younger Joe would be like, what? First of all, what is Bitcoin? Second of all,
Yeah.
older Joe will be very happy.
Yeah, be in like a nice healthcare or something right now.
I
He's
love
stuff
it.
alive.
I love it. All right, Joe, last rapid fire here. I know you're becoming a new traveler, world traveler because of Jessica. So I'm curious, what is a place that you really want to go to that's now kind of on your bucket list?
Uh, so at the Get the Life thing I did, the lady there, she's like, you have to go to Taiwan because like they have good coffee. Because I was telling about my trips to Italy and Japan. So like Taiwan's like a mixture of both. They have good coffee. You get cheap massages everywhere. Couple massages, and then so coffee massages and great food everywhere, and it's like really cheap. And like if they, I guess this is a deep question, but they have bidets there too. So that was like my favorite thing about Japan. They have bidets everywhere, so like you can
Crazy
eat and
toilets
not
in
care
Japan.
whatsoever.
Yeah, good answer, man. I love it. We'll get you to Taiwan one day. I'm excited for when that trip finally happens. You have to send us pics.
Yeah, one day.
I think I spent like 3 hours in the airport there, and that
Oh,
was it. And I guess all right. Quick question then: if you're in an airport in a place, are you saying that you've been there?
no, no.
I agree. Okay, I just want to make sure. So I
Because
haven't
like,
been
you
to
didn't go
Taiwan.
outside and try the food or interact with people.
My body has physically been in the space where the map says
Yeah.
Taiwan is, but I've actually never been to Taiwan. I like
Yeah, I did a layover in Seattle and San Francisco,
that.
but never been there.
Fair enough. All right, Joe, we're coming up. Our last question. We ask every single person who joins Elevation Nation, whether that's through our podcast or our workshops and keynotes, about what is your mental motto? It's a phrase, a quote, a slogan that represents your mental fortitude. And so I know you got two for us. Let's hear them.
The first one is I say every day is fuck it, and it's like because I fail every day because I don't have good motor skills in my hands, and like I drop my phone, I do something, it's like whatever, like it's gonna happen no matter what. Don't stress over it. Just like fuck it, who cares? And just leave it. If you can leave it alone, and then if you can't, try to fix it. Like with my burnt skin, I can't change that. So it's like, well, I gotta live my life now. Like, and that leads into the second one. It's like I didn't ask for this life, but I'm gonna live it anyways. And that's a quote from Get Rich and Die Trying movie from 50 Cent. So I was like, he was right about it. I didn't ask to be burnt in a transplant patient, but I gotta live it now, and I'm living to the fullest.
Man, two great mental mottos. And I think, Joe, like I said, we've interviewed and had conversations with tens of thousands of people around the topic of mental fortitude. And I think you epitomize what it means to live life each day, knowing who you are, knowing what you want out of life, and knowing what inspires you, and just being true to that each and every day, regardless of what life has brought. You still are your authentic self. And that's why people love to talk with you, hang out with you, travel the world with you, build a life with you, and celebrate you. And so on behalf of Sam, Elevation Nation, and myself, we are so grateful that you joined Elevation Nation. We know this certainly won't be the last time we have a conversation on a microphone, but just thank you. That's all I can say.
Yeah, thank you for having me on. It's really nice talking to you guys.
Absolutely. All right, Elevation Nation. Until next week, peace.